How do you define your target market? Well, as we discussed before, demographics. You want to take a look at age, income, education level, gender, living situation, etc., etc. And you want to define that as well as possible. You want to use marketing research to do that. You want to interview people. You want to have secondhand information. Secondhand means you want to interview people who know your potential customer. Firsthand means you want to interview your first customers. Firsthand means you want to interview your customers, and that is how you get a demographic profile. And finally, what if your target market is a business? Well, you want to define the target market in terms of business size, number of employees, business location, factors like that. It's interesting, there was a high-tech company that sold its products to businesses, and they defined one of the key characteristics in their demographic profile, their customers, was how many computers does this company own? Because the number of computers that the business customer owned would define how much software this company was going to be able to sell. If they had a company with 10,000 employees and 500 computers, that was attractive. But if they had a company with 1,000 employees and 900 computers, that was even more attractive. Of course, they would have to work with the hardware provider to build up the customer base in the first example, but you want to get as many statistics as possible on a company in order to develop the right target market, the right profile of the company. Real quickly, we're going to move on to creating the target market, and you answer a series of questions to create the target market. How old are your customers? What gender are your customers, etc., etc. When researching who your customers might be, you must consider asking questions specific to your product or service. And these questions would include things like, how might your target market be affected by demographic shifts? In other words, a lot of discussion we have in America today is the aging baby boomers. That's the classic example of a shift in the demographic shift. People are getting older, and there's a group of people born between 1946 and 1964 who make up a substantial percentage of our population. They're getting older. They're approaching retirement age, so they will be in tune to products that appeal to people of retirement age. There are a series of questions in both of these categories in developing your target market. There online on your module, you can go through the specific list yourself. And finally, online resources. There are things like the Census Bureau, Federal Statistics Online, and the module provides all the URLs that will give you access to the websites to help you develop statistical data. It's one thing to say we want a customer who buys our product. It's another to say we want a customer who is of this gender, of this age, of this education level, of this living situation to buy our product. The more information you know, the more you can target your message, the greater the likelihood that your customer will buy the product. That is the conclusion to Module 3. You're now prepared to take the online quiz, and we'll move on to Module 4 next. The online resources will be important because when you develop a target market, you need to be as specific as possible and come up with data and specific statistics that help you define what your market is and what the profile of your customer is.